The first time I picked up that lipstick, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. It wasn't about wanting to be someone else. It wasn't some fantasy or curiosity. It was desperation, pure and simple. I needed to get inside a house where I had no right to be. I needed to stand in the same room as my daughter without someone deciding whether I deserved to be there. By the time I pressed that lipstick to my lips, I was 32 years old and had already lost everything that mattered. My name is Elvis, and this is the story of how far I went to see my daughter again. Juliet and I met when we were young. We got married, had a daughter named Tasha, and built what looked like a normal life from the outside. I worked construction management. Long hours, steady pay. Juliet stayed home with Tasha. We had our routines, weekend pancakes, cartoon marathons, bedtime stories. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Tasha was 8 when everything fell apart. 8 years of giggles and scraped knees and tiny hands reaching for mine. She was my whole world. I thought I was doing everything right, providing, protecting, being the kind of father who shows up. I thought that was enough. I was wrong. It started small. Juliet's phone, always face down on the counter. Late-night texts that made her smile in a way I hadn't seen in years. Calls she'd end the second I walked into the room. Who was that? Nobody. Wrong number. Too quick. Too smooth. I wanted to trust her. Good husbands trust, right? So I pushed down the doubt and told myself I was being paranoid. But the distance grew. She stopped asking about my day, stopped waiting up for me, stopped looking at me the way she used to. The warmth between us just evaporated. I was drowning in my own house, surrounded by memories of what we used to be. That's when I made my mistake. A woman at my workplace, Angela. She listened when I needed to talk. She filled the silence Juliet had left behind. I never touched her, never crossed that line. But emotionally, I'd already checked out. Maybe Juliet knew. Maybe that's why she did what she did next. I could never tell. Tuesday, August 23rd, I came home expecting dinner, maybe some conversation, the usual evening routine. Instead, I walked into silence. Not the peaceful kind, the empty kind. The kind that makes your stomach drop before your brain understands why. Juliet? Tasha? Nothing. I walked through the living room. Tasha's toys were scattered on the floor. Her coloring book was open to a half-finished princess. Purple crayon lying next to it. But no sound. No giggling. No little feet running to hug me. I went upstairs. Tasha's room. Her bed was made. She never made her bed. Her stuffed rabbit, the one she couldn't sleep without, the one with the missing eye that she'd had since she was 2, gone. My chest tightened. I rushed to our bedroom. Juliet's closet was half empty. Drawers pulled open, ransacked. The bathroom. No toothbrushes, no makeup, no hairbrush with blonde strands tangled in it. The house looked fine. Nothing broken. No signs of a fight. Just absence. But I was shattered. I called Juliet's phone. It rang 4 times, then voicemail. Her voice, cheerful, recorded, "Hey, can't come to the phone right now. Leave a message after the beep." I hung up and called again, and again. 23 times that night. 23 times I got voicemail. I called her mother, her sister, her friends. Nobody knew where they were, or nobody would tell me. I sat on our bed that night, staring at the indent her body had left in the mattress. Still fresh, still shaped like her. She hadn't left in anger. She'd left in silence. Planned it, waited for the perfect moment when I wouldn't be there to stop her. That night, I stopped being a husband, and I became something more dangerous. A father with nothing left to lose. I went to the police the next day. The officer looked at me with pity and said what they all say. "Sir, she's an adult. She took her child, without a custody agreement or evidence of danger. Legally, she hasn't done anything wrong. She took my daughter. She took her daughter, sir, unless you can prove the child is in danger." He didn't finish. He didn't have to. The system wasn't built to help fathers like me. I hired a lawyer. Expensive suit, fancy office. Same story. Without a custody order, without proof of neglect, you have no legal standing. What about my rights? Silence. That silence told me everything I needed to know. By week 3, I'd stopped shaving, stopped eating real meals, stopped answering calls from work. I lost my job 4 months later. My head wasn't in the game. How could it be? My head was wherever my daughter was. And I had no idea where that was. So I hired a private investigator. His name was Marcus. Ex-cop, gravel voice, no nonsense attitude. "This won't be cheap," he said. and no guarantees. I sold everything I had, my truck, my tools, my wedding ring, maxed out every credit card. Find her, I said, sliding cash across his desk. Find my daughter. When the law failed me, my love didn't disappear. It mutated into something primal, something that didn't care about rules. I was ready to cross any line. The call that changed everything. 17 days later, my phone rang at unknown number. Yeah? Elvis, I found them. Marcus's voice. Calm, steady, time stopped. Where? Sending the address now. But Elvis, this isn't going to be easy. My phone buzzed. I opened Google Maps with shaking hands. A mansion appeared on the screen. 3 stories. Iron gates. Security cameras. Sprawling grounds. The kind of place that screams money. Whose house is this? Marcus exhaled. Your wife's living with someone. A man. 52 years old. CEO of an investment firm. Net worth in the millions. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. She hadn't just left me. She'd left me for this. You can't just walk up and knock on the door, Marcus warned. That place has security. I know, but I wasn't really listening. I was staring at the screen, at the place where my daughter was sleeping right now, and then I saw it. At the bottom of the listing, 3 small words. Maid needed. My heart started pounding. A father had no rights to that house. A stranger had no access. A man couldn't get through those gates. But a maid walked through the front door every day, saw every room, had access to everything. A maid could find my daughter. The thought was insane. But what choice did I have? Wait for courts that didn't care? Wait for my daughter to forget my voice? No, I'd waited long enough. If I couldn't get in as a man, I'd get in as a woman. I spent the next 3 days online, searching. Makeup tutorials, voice training, how to walk in heels, how to pass as female. It sounds crazy. And it was. But it was the only path I could see. I found her profile at 2:37 a.m., a makeup artist, mid-30s. Her bio was simple. Transformation without judgment. I stared at the message box for 15 minutes. Finally, I typed, I need to disappear. Can you help me become someone new? She responded in 8 minutes. How new? Completely. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., cash only. And I don't want to know why. I didn't sleep that night. I paced my apartment, terrified and determined at the same time. But every time doubt crept in, I'd think of Tasha. Her face, her laugh, her small hand in mine, and every doubt disappeared. She arrived at exactly 8 p.m., 2 large cases in hand. I'm Simone, she said. She looked at me, really looked. Studying my face, my height, my build. Sit. I sat. She opened her cases. Makeup everywhere, brushes of every size. This will take a while. Don't speak unless I ask. Don't move unless I tell you. She started with a razor. Shaved my face, my neck, my chest, my arms. Every trace of stubble, gone. You're going to feel exposed, she said quietly. That's normal. She was right. I felt like I was erasing myself. Next came the makeup. She tested foundation shades on my jaw, chose one, started applying it. Forehead, cheeks, nose, chin, neck, ears. No lines, she muttered. Lines give you away. I watched in the mirror as Elvis slowly faded. Then came the contour. Dark powder under my cheekbones, along my jaw, down my nose. We're reshaping your face with shadows, she explained. My face looked softer, rounder, feminine. Then, highlight. Shimmering powder on my cheekbones, nose, lips. She stepped back, nodded. Eyes next. This is where we sell it. She plucked and shaped my eyebrows, curled my lashes, applied mascara, then eyeliner, black, precise, with a sharp wing at the end. This changes your whole eye shape. Then eyeshadow, neutral browns and golds. We're going believable, not dramatic. Then lips. She lined them, made them fuller, applied rich red lipstick. Press your lips, now blot. I did. A perfect red imprint on the tissue. She reapplied. Perfect. Next came the wig. Long, black, wavy hair. Human hair, it'll move naturally. She positioned it carefully, secured it with pins and glue. When she finished, I reached up and touched it. It felt real. Don't pull on it. Avoid wind. Finally, The uniform. Black latex-made outfit, form-fitting, deep V neckline. I put it on in the bathroom. The latex clung to every inch of me. Short skirt, garters, white wrist cuffs, small headpiece, black stockings, fishnet underneath, then the heels. Tall black platforms. I slipped them on and nearly fell. I wobbled back into the living room, gripping the wall. Simone looked up. Something flickered in her eyes. Now we teach you to walk. For 30 minutes she drilled me. Hips forward, shoulders back, smaller steps, over and over, until it felt almost natural. Voice next. Speak from your throat. Higher pitch. Softer. Hello. Too deep. Hello. Too breathy. Hello. Better, keep practicing. She handed me a white apron. Tie this. She adjusted it, smoothed it, stepped back. Ready? No. She smiled. Good. Fear keeps you careful. Simone positioned me in front of the full-length mirror. Close your eyes. I closed them. I heard her adjusting the wig, smoothing the dress. Okay, open. I opened my eyes. I didn't recognize myself. A woman stared back at me. Not a man in makeup. A woman. Smooth brown skin. Defined cheekbones. Arched eyebrows. Long black hair falling past my shoulders. Bold eyeliner. Long lashes. Red lips. The dress hugged every curve. The white apron contrasted perfectly. I looked beautiful. I raised my hand, touched my face. The woman in the mirror did the same. Who is she? I whispered. Simone stood beside me. She's whoever you need her to be. I couldn't stop staring. Elvis had completely disappeared. What's her name? Elena, I said. Her name is Elena. Simone nodded. Elena. The maid. For the first time in 6 months, I wasn't a powerless father. I was a woman with access, a woman with a plan. How do you feel? Simone asked. I looked at her in the mirror. Dangerous. She smiled. Good. She packed up her cases. The makeup will last 12 hours. Don't touch your face. Don't rub your eyes. And don't cry. I won't. Be smart. Be safe. She left. I stood alone in my living room, wearing a stranger's face. Tomorrow morning, I would drive to that mansion. Tomorrow morning, Elena would be born. And tomorrow night, I'd see my daughter again. People say transformation is about wanting to be different. But mine was about survival, about a love so fierce I was willing to erase myself completely. I lost my wife, my daughter, my identity, my rights, and I discovered I was willing to become anything to get her back. If you want to know what happened when I walked through those gates, if you want to know whether they believed I was Elena, if you want to know if I held my daughter again or if everything fell apart, then stay with me. Subscribe, hit that bell, because this story is just beginning. My name was Elvis, 32 years old, construction manager, father, but the woman who walked through those mansion gates the next morning had a different name, a different past, a different future. She was someone who didn't exist 24 hours ago, and by the time the truth came out, she would be someone who could never be erased. Welcome to my transformation. Welcome to my obsession. Welcome to the day I stopped being a victim and became something far more dangerous. See you in the next chapter. The end.
The Gender Diary exists to light that path with shared stories. Whether you found connection in this narrative, you're on your own journey of gender exploration, or you're here seeking understanding, your subscription fuels our mission. Every subscriber empowers us to keep illuminating these authentic experiences for our community. Kindly drop a comment below. Your voice adds to the tapestry of experiences that makes this space meaningful. Until our next story unfolds.